The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with tension as Ambassador Zix Thera of the Vorthan Empire stood before the assembled delegates. Her crystalline form shimmered with barely contained rage, each facet of her silicon-based body refracting the chamber's bioluminescent lighting into angry rainbows. "The human must be eliminated," she declared, her voice resonating through the translation matrices. "Marcus Chen's research threatens the very foundation of our interstellar order." The other ambassadors shifted uncomfortably. The Kelthani representative, a mass of tentacles and neural clusters, pulsed nervously. "Surely you exaggerate, Zix Thera. He is merely a graduate student at some backwater institution." "A graduate student," she hissed, "who has single-handedly revolutionized faster-than-light communication theory. Do you comprehend what this means? For 12,000 years, the Vorthan Empire has maintained galactic supremacy through our monopoly on instantaneous communication networks. Our quantum fold relays are the backbone of interstellar commerce, diplomacy, and military coordination." She activated a holographic display showing Marcus's published research. The equations hung in the air like accusations. "This human child has developed a method using quantum entanglement that doesn't require our relay stations. Worse, his approach is exponentially more efficient and can be constructed with materials available on any civilized world." The chamber fell silent. Every species present understood the implications. The Vorthan Empire's stranglehold on galactic communications would crumble overnight if Marcus's research became widespread. "What do you propose?" asked the Hrexni delegate, his reptilian features betraying nothing. "Assassination," Zix Thera stated flatly. "Make it appear accidental. A tragic loss of young genius to some mundane cause." The Kelthani representative recoiled. The Terran Federation is too new, too weak to challenge us," Zix Thera interrupted. "They have been members for barely a century. They lack the military or political power to seek retribution for one student's death. What the Galactic Council didn't understand about humans was their capacity for both loyalty and vengeance when one of their own was threatened. More importantly, they failed to grasp the sheer adaptability that had made humanity's rise so meteoric. The first assassin was a Zephyrian shadow dancer, a being capable of existing partially outside normal spacetime. To most species, they were essentially invisible and untouchable. The shadow dancer materialized in Marcus's campus apartment just after midnight, confident in an easy kill. It found Marcus wide awake, hunched over a workbench with what appeared to be a modified microwave oven and several car batteries. The human looked up calmly as reality distorted around the assassin's entrance. "Interesting," Marcus said, adjusting his glasses. "You're utilizing micro-dimensional phasing. I've been theorizing about defensive applications for that." Before the shadow dancer could react, Marcus activated his device. A localized spatial distortion field snapped the assassin back into normal spacetime with bone-crushing force. Security cameras would later show what appeared to be a bizarre accident involving an experimental physics project and an unfortunate break-in. The second assassin was a Corvan bioweapon, a living entity capable of mimicking any organic form, while secreting neurotoxins through skin contact. It approached Marcus as a fellow graduate student, planning to eliminate him during a casual handshake. Marcus greeted the false student warmly, then immediately offered him coffee from a fresh pipe. The Corvan, maintaining its disguise, accepted. What it didn't know was that Marcus had been experimenting with electromagnetic field manipulation for his communications research. The coffee mug was lined with conductors that generated a specific frequency fatal to Corvan nervous systems. The assassin dissolved into its component biomatter within minutes, appearing to die of a sudden allergic reaction. By the third attempt, word had spread through certain circles that the human was proving unexpectedly resilient. The Vorthan Empire contracted a Nexari mind ripper, a psychic predator capable of destroying consciousness from a distance. These beings could kill with a thought, leaving victims appearing to have suffered random brain aneurysms. The Nexari assassin positioned itself in a building across from Marcus's laboratory and began its mental assault. It immediately encountered something unprecedented. Marcus's mind was not only shielded, but the shields were actively learning and adapting to the attack. Unknown to the assassin, Marcus had been developing quantum consciousness theory as a side project and had inadvertently created a form of mental firewall that grew stronger under assault. The psychic feedback killed the Nexari instantly. After the fourth, fifth, and sixth assassins met similarly inexplicable ends, a molecular disruptor specialist caught in his own weapons field reversal, a temporal assassin trapped in a causality loop, and a nanoswarm controller consumed by his own weaponized nanites. The Vorthan Empire began to panic. How is this possible? Zixithera demanded of her intelligence chief. He's just a student. Perhaps, the chief suggested carefully. That's exactly why he's so dangerous. He doesn't know what should be impossible. The seventh and final assassin was Zixithera herself. Vorthan crystalline bodies were living weapons, capable of reshaping into molecular edge blades and projecting focused energy beams. She would handle this primitive human personally. She found Marcus in his laboratory, surrounded by devices that hummed with barely contained energy. He looked up from his work with genuine curiosity rather than fear. "Ambassador Zixithera," he said politely. "I've been expecting you, or someone like you anyway. After the third attempt on my life, I started monitoring subspace communication patterns. Your empire has been quite chatty lately." Before she could react, Marcus gestured to his latest invention, a device that looked like a cross between a radio telescope and a disco ball. "You know what I discovered while developing my communication theory? Everything in the universe is connected through quantum entanglement, including the silicon matrices that make up your nervous system." The device activated. Zixithera's crystalline form began to resonate at frequencies that shouldn't have been possible, each facet of her body vibrating in harmony with quantum fluctuations millions of light years away. She shattered like expensive crystal dropped on concrete. 3 days later, the Terran Federation received an unexpected communication from the Galactic Council. Marcus Chen's research had been declared a protected galactic heritage project, and the Vorthan Empire had volunteered to provide funding and security for his continued studies. Marcus never learned about the failed assassination attempts. As far as he knew, he'd just been having an unusually productive semester, with several breakthrough discoveries and a surprising number of accidents in his lab. He was particularly pleased with his new quantum communication array, which had successfully established contact with research stations throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Council learned a valuable lesson that day. Humans didn't dominate through superior technology or overwhelming force. They succeeded because they treated every problem as a puzzle to be solved, every obstacle as an opportunity to innovate. In trying to eliminate Marcus Chen, they had given him the greatest gift possible for a human researcher: interesting problems to solve. And humans, as the galaxy would continue to discover, were very good at solving problems, especially when their survival depended on it.